The streets are saying Ian Garry is like feeling really confident about this fight, guys. I heard he was on a little interview with Ariel Helwani. He seemed like he was saying Islam was ducking, and it seems like he was saying things like he's very confident he's going to dispose of Islam. I haven't watched the interview. This is what people have been telling me. They told me to react to it. I've been avoiding it, so now I'm going to give you guys my live reaction to this, and we're going to break down. I like things like this, guys. I like watching fighters and like kind of gauging how they feel before a fight, because I think that's huge. Like, and I think don't get me wrong, it's a good thing that Ian Garry is very confident in his abilities, and it's a good thing he thinks he's going to dispose of Islam. That's what I think he should be thinking. I think this is a close fight. You know, I made the video talking about the threat of Ian Garry in general and how he could use his length to be very problematic, you know. So we're going to react to this. We're going to see how Ian Garry's feeling. I don't know what he's feeling like, though, talking about, oh, Islam's a duck. Be careful, you know. Be careful, you know. Like, I need to see a little bit more, like, why he say these things. But let's get into the interview with Ariel Helwani, who just got knocked out of the White House not too long ago. Let's get straight into the video.
As we were doing the show on Wednesday, I do believe it was Wednesday, we got the breaking news, the news that we had been waiting for and sort of telling you was going to happen, but it was taking so damn long. It is going to happen. It's official. It's finally official. UFC 330, August 15th, Philadelphia. Mr. Ian Machado Garry, kind enough to join us to talk about it all. There he is. There he is.
Ariel.
Yes.
He finally learned how to say yes. Breaking news, flip it up, put it out. He learned how to say yes. Finally. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy Father's Day.
You too.
Thank you so much.
I hope you had a great day. I had a great day. I got some new socks.
Okay, let's see him.
First of all, I don't know, guys. I have no problem with Ian Garry. Let me get that straight. But like the little like, finally he says yes, brother. Pipe down, kid. Like, let's be real. Pipe down, brother. Like, he's trying to run with the narrative we're ducking. I want to hear him out because I don't know why he's saying it, you know. But
wow. Oh, wow.
They say champ.
Wow.
15th of August.
you can see it, but his sock says champ. I'm gonna move my camera so you guys can just see it real quick. It says champ and it has the date of his fight with Islam Makhachev. All right, let's just say this right now, guys. Boy, you're not Ilya, and Ilya just did this and nearly died in there. It's just a Gaethje, so be careful, you know. Listen, Gary, I like the confidence, but relax, brother.
Wow. Oh, wow.
They say champ.
Wow.
15th of August, 2026.
Okay, so let's talk about this. What the hell took so long? And I know it wasn't on your end. I had heard, Ian, that there were
What does Ariel mean? I know it wasn't on your end. Relax, dog.
talks of this happening in April in Miami. Is that accurate?
So, dude, it was before then that I knew I was next. I was told I was next in January.
Wow.
I was told I was next in January. There was talks about April. Then there was official offer put out May 9th, to which he turned down for Newark. I threw out the ideas of International Fight Week. They said they had Fight Week. We deserve to be the main event. Obviously, they had Conor and Max planned for that, which is huge.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it just ended up, eventually it was no. They spoke to me about how that they needed to do their due diligence and put on one of the biggest fights they possibly could, which was Ilya versus Islam at the White House.
I heard about that.
Islam turned it down, to my knowledge, from what I've been told.
No. Okay, there's two stories to this. I don't want to really rehash this, bro. But yes, there's one story saying Islam turned it down because of an injury or his hand or wrist or whatever. But from what I heard from Islam's side is Ilya asked for an absurd amount of money. You know, and Ilya actually agreed. Him and his people said, yeah, we did ask for a absurd amount of money. But then we turned around and we said, you know what, that's fine. And then Islam came out with the hand injury. There's a lot of stories going around, but I'm not like, which one do I believe? Who gives a crap what I believe? I don't think Islam ducked the Ilya fight, though. I do think Ilya's team wanted more money because they thought it was more of a risk. And that alone is showing me that he didn't want that fight. Ilya didn't want the fight. I also will say Islam went out and said, like, I never had an injury. Like, I don't even know what these people are talking about. I was never injured. So that makes me more likely to believe Islam in general. Like, if he was never injured, I just think Ilya Tapore's team realized, oh shit, we did ask for more money. We probably avoided that fight and we ducked it and we ended up taking Gaethje for less money. So let me just say Islam has an injury. So that's a bit weird. So I don't think Islam's hurt, and I don't know why Ian Gary's gonna run with the narrative that Islam ducked Ilya, because he's also running with the narrative that Islam ducked him, which is really weird. This whole Islam's a duck narrative. Be careful, brother, what you say, because you're gonna fight. You know, we're fighting soon. Careful.
And here we are. Do you know what I mean? The right fight has been made. The fight that should be fought.
Sure.
And we get it on August 15th, my friend.
So we had seen like your videos, your social media about how anxious you were to finalize all of this, to get the word, to get the call.
Yeah.
But like in your day-to-day life, to wake up every day, go to the gym, be motivated without having that date, how difficult was this?
I'm at the highest point of my career right now.
Okay.
I just beat a former champion of Bilal Muhammad to
True.
earn and cement myself as the #1 contender for this title. And the champion essentially has one fight a year. And apparently can just say no whenever he wants until he's ready. To me, that's not the baddest man in the world.
Okay. I'm liking this, you know. I'm like, yeah, keep talking. Honestly, Islam has been getting unlucky with these one fight a year situations. Like, I know he's fought, like, it's just, you know, Islam's been injured a lot lately. His hand, and it's the same. I feel like it's a reoccurring injury. He's gonna need to get surgery, but I think he's waiting till his career is over. Honestly, I've been saying this, guys. Islam should not be sticking around too long. I think if he gets this win, he should retire. I know that's a hot take. I know people probably don't want that, but I don't want to see Islam lose, and I feel like you hang around enough, you're going to lose. Like, you're at that point, you're going through reoccurring injuries. He's kind of putting you off. You're not fighting as much as you want to. You don't need to be here fighting through injuries to impress us. Bro, you've done enough. After this one, you're going to be the only one with the most wins in UFC history. You're not going to be tied with Silva or tied with anyone. You're going to be surpassed everyone, you know, and you're going to have a defense in 2 weight classes. Only 2 other people done that, or what's it called? Who is it? Cejudo and DC, I'm pretty sure. Maybe one more other person did that, but from what I know, Cejudo and DC, only ones who defended both belts in 2 different weight classes. So yeah, like I don't see a need for Islam to stick around the longest after that. Like, cause after that, bro, you solidified yourself as a GOAT. It's up to Islam though, but it's interesting Gary's coming with this. I don't think this is the baddest man in the pair. I like that Gary's coming with confidence, dude. But like I said, they're going to fight.
To me, that's not the #1 pound for pound fight on the planet. You say
What?
yes, you show up. Obviously, there's things that I'm not an irrational human. I understand there's life things that happens, but no, with no reasonable or sensible excuse isn't right. And it's tough on the mind. Do you know what I mean? It's tough. It's infuriating. I've been told since January, I'm next. You've got people online, other contenders trying to state their claim, but they were told they weren't, so they're just lying to fans. And it's tough. It's not easy because I want to earn that world title. I want to fight Islam. I want to beat the best in the world to prove I'm the best. And I'm training. I'm staying fit. I'm doing everything I possibly can. I'm eating the right foods. I'm doing all the right things. But then it's just getting extended and prolonged. And do you know what I've been doing now? Come with me for a second.
Tell me.
I tell you this. This is what I've been doing. Not to be driven out.
Oh no.
This nigga just crashed.
The Wi-Fi doesn't explain.
I went down into the
All right, here he goes. He's back. His ugly ass is back.
no man's land. I've been out in the garden.
Oh.
I'll send you photos so you can do it. I have been gardening every day to keep myself from going insane. I have been out there for hours and hours and hours, trucking away at the garden. We built a tree house. I've got a wildflower field out there that I've been doing everything in my power to keep the train on the tracks, to not go out of my mind insane.
You know, he's interesting. And let me actually say this to defend him in this way. Like, it probably is frustrating if you're told, oh, you're next in January. Probably like, oh, shit, I'm next. Okay, so I'm probably going to be fighting, March? Let me get ready. Like, you're doing all the things right. Then now you're fighting in August, which is the second half of 2026. When you're getting told you're next in the first half of the first month in 2026, it's probably a little bit upsetting to be fighting the second half. So I could be roasting him here, but I'm an objective person. I can feel his pain. I just need to know more about this Islam's ducking. I'm really not buying it because I've never heard nothing. Like I've heard multiple, oh, it's gonna be Islam Usman. I've heard that. I heard Ali still pushing for the Usman fight the first half of this year. I heard him talking about Protez and Morales. I've heard all these. I heard Gary's name too, but I've never heard things were set in stone. Maybe the UFC is telling Ian Garry one thing, but telling Islam's team another thing because Islam was all over the place. I heard Islam versus Ilya at the White House. I've heard it all. So I don't think Islam's just saying no, no, no to Ian Garry. But this is Ian Garry's side of things. And of course, his side of things are going to be kind of filtered to what he thinks in his head because he's being told. But I don't think he actually understands that Islam's not actively saying, I don't want to fight Ian Garry. Because let's be real, bro. We're not ducking you, kid. Like, we are not ducking you, buddy. I like you, brother. Like, I see you. Like, you're doing gardening a little bit, like taking care of plants. Brother, Plant, you think Plant's gonna help him? Dale.
It's not been easy, but
probably
it will all be worth it.
Do you have a theory as to why it took so long?
First things first, I don't
Yo, spit it out. Fuck, man.
believe Islam is afraid of anybody.
Okay.
I think he's absolutely one of the best fighters of this generation. I think he knows it. Everybody else knows it. We all respect him. I have nothing but love and respect for him. I've said this multiple times. Nothing changes because he's my opponent. I think what he's done in the sport is amazing. However, I feel like this is just natural to them. There's so many agents involved, people talking out their arse, making up excuses and yada, yada, yada. I think for him, he's been, I don't know. I feel like there's many things behind the scenes, but there was no's, there was excuses, there was no's to other. It's just, I don't know. What I've been communicated is just, I'm working on it. This has happened. Okay. And it's just been a whole pantomime. And I'm just so happy that they finally said yes and that we've locked it in.
And so, as you alluded to, on the road to getting here, there was obviously the Ilya stuff and, Morales trying. At any point were you nervous? At any point were you worried that you would get screwed over here and that someone would cut the line?
Probably not.
Yeah, because...
Oh, shit.
I don't necessarily trust the UFC to do the right things.
Oh, well, that's a fair point. I was going to say, because objectively, like, I'm not going to look at Morales beating Sean Brady like, oh, you're next up. Not going to look at Protez beating Leon Edwards and them and being like, oh, or JDM even, and you're next up, because Ian Garry did beat Protez and then beat a former champion. Yes, Protez, they both beat former champions, Protez and Garry, but Garry beat a former champion and then he also beat you. So, and then Morales hasn't beat a former champion yet. Like, so I don't even think Morales in the picture. Usman, I wanted Usman to skip the line, but I knew damn well Usman did not deserve that shit, gang. But yeah.
Every time, all the time. The right fight to make was me and Islam. Absolutely no doubt about it, no question about it. I said to him, I said to Hunter, I said, how am I meant to believe you? Because Carlos Prates fights Jack Della Maddalena now in a month's time or something. I think it was in March I spoke to him. And I said, and if he goes out and knocks him out, which I believe he will, and he should do it already, then he's knocked out 2 former champions back to back. And his response was, you're next. You have a win over that guy, and you did it on short notice.
True.
It is my job to give you the respect in that regard. You're next.
Exactly.
Which is everything that I needed to hear. It's so simple. Carlos Prates has been amazing. He's done unbelievable since our fight. I'm a massive fan of his. Nothing but respect for that man. But I beat him. And I beat him on short notice when the UFC needed me. I stepped up. I beat him. I then went on to beat former champion Bilal Muhammad. And I cemented myself as the #1 contender in the world. That's it. The Ilya fight, I understood. I think it made sense, especially for the White House. It made sense to have pound for pound #1, pound for pound #2. Both 2-weight world champions. It was a massive fight. Mm-hmm. From my understanding, it was a done deal. And then Islam said no.
He's right. Listen, I think it's gonna help. Writing this narrative is gonna help him mentally because he's gonna have the mental thought process that Islam's scared. So, whatever.
And that was the last minute kind of move about that. I'm sure we've all heard about. Mm-hmm. So that was my understanding. I knew Kamaru was never getting it. I knew Mike Morales was never getting it. These guys were just chatting shit, trying to stay relevant and stay in the conclusion, stay in the kind of equation, because that's more exciting for them. So yeah, we're here, Ariel. I don't care what happens.
Yes,
I don't
yes,
care
yes.
what's done. I'm here now, and I'm so ready for this.
And you come across as very confident. And so this may be a crazy question. Why are you so confident when thinking about fighting Islam and beating Islam? Because more often than not, people don't look good against him.
Good question. Good
That
question.
normally happens when people fight me, Ariel, too.
Nah, you like Prates took away your aura when you crawled away from him. I don't know about that. You got caught by that one Asian and got dropped. So I don't know. It's a bit different. Yeah. People say they'll do good against Islam and they literally go in there and nearly die. People say they do good against you. They have moments, but yeah, you're right. You do beat them.
That normally happens when people fight me, Ariel, too.
Oh, Chincha.
Firstly, again, I have nothing but respect for him. I think he's absolutely cemented himself as the best fighter on the planet right now, and until he's beaten, he holds that status.
Of course.
What he's done in this career, in his career, and over the last decade in the sport, has been second to none. A two-weight world champion, pound for pound #1, and on the verge of breaking the longest consecutive win streak in UFC history. It's nothing but exceptional.
Yeah.
However, I've always said to you from the first time you spoke, well before I was in the UFC, to be the best, you have to beat the best. There is nobody else I would want to beat to prove that I'm the champion of the world. There is nobody else I'm more excited to fight and test myself against than this dominance in Islam Makhachev. He's earned that title as the pound for pound champion, at the pound for pound #1 on the planet right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy I want to take out. To make sure that it's undeniable. When I beat him, I'm the best welterweight on the planet, and arguably the #1 pound for pound fighter on the planet.
Okay, but the question was, how do you beat him? I feel like you was asking, like, why are you so confident? How do you beat him? You just said, he's the best, so if I beat him, I'm the best. Nigga, that's not what we asked. Like, I want him to talk about it, because, like, I was talking about it in my little early prediction video. I was saying the length is different. The oblique kicks are different. Something Islam's never stood in front of. Like, I want to hear something about that.
So I want to ask you about something he said very recently to Red Corner MMA. He said, my prediction for this fight, I will have to chase after him. He's not an aggressive fighter. He won't attack me himself. He'll run and try to catch me with something, but I won't let him. He doesn't even want people touching him. When his teammates enter training camp, he says, don't touch me. He then continued and said, style-wise, he's a tricky fighter. He constantly run away. I wouldn't call him an entertaining fighter. Morales, for example, can wrestle. He goes forward. What is your reaction to what he said?
I've never heard this. This is the first I've heard about Islam talking about this fight.
An aggressive fight. He said, my prediction for this fight, I will have to chase after him. He's not an aggressive fighter. He won't attack me himself. He'll run and try to catch me with something, but I won't let him. He doesn't even want people touching him. When his teammates enter training camp, he says, don't touch me. He then continued and said, style-wise, he's a tricky fighter. He constantly run away. I wouldn't call him an entertaining fighter. Morales, for example, can wrestle. He goes forward. What is your reaction to what he's saying?
Interesting that Islam, it's interesting because Islam said a lot of things I said in my early prediction video. I said Islam's going to have to do something he's never done before, and that's like pressure and chase. Like the times I've ever seen Gary go through adversity was when Bilal was pairing up 4, 5, 6 punch combos. Islam's a counter striker first. He doesn't usually do that, or I've seen him go through trouble with Bilal when Bilal would close the distance and then go into a takedown. I've seen him with trouble against Prates, and Prates will pressure him with the hand fighting and try to land something. It all stems from Ian Garry getting caught or looking a little bit sus when he's pressured. Islam Makhachev primarily being a counter striker, he just waits for you to come to him. So so Islam's going to have to fight different. Islam said today, he says he's going to have to chase him and Gary's going to run. So at least Islam knows. I'm glad Islam's a smart dude, but it's hard to see the visual of Islam chasing anybody. And if he is chasing for the first time, is he going to be open to more shots? But let's see what Ian Garry says. Very interesting. This is my first time. I replayed that twice because I never heard Islam talk about this. And also, he did say that he doesn't like, don't touch me in sparring. Interesting. That's really interesting. Interesting. I want to see him address that too.
I mean, I don't want to talk bad about the guy, but I don't necessarily care for his opinion on what I do or what my fighting style is. Coming from the man who sat on the champion of the world for 25 minutes and a half guard and didn't get a finish. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't think
One fight, nigga. He's talking about your fight style. You're talking about one fight. He's talking about your actual fight style, gang. Lock in.
5 minutes and a half guard and didn't get a finish. Do you know what I mean? I don't think
Nah, I mean,
talking about other people's styles is a bickering match I'm willing to get into. Guess what I am? I'm 10-1 in the UFC. Here's another one for you, Aaron.
Okay.
You've not seen me sparked and conscious in the UFC. I've seen Islam sparked and conscious in the UFC.
you never see him unconscious. You see him got dropped and the fight got stopped. Careful, buddy. You gotta come fucking politically correct, brother. We were not out cold, brother. It wasn't Leon Edwards Usman, bro. We got dropped. We tried to get up. The ref jumped on us.
You've not seen me dominate in this sport. We've not seen him dominate in this sport. You've seen my hand get raised time and time and time again. You've seen his hand get raised time and time and time again.
Okay.
The truth is, I have this feeling in my heart that they know I'm the trickiest opponent for him. That's why he's called.
You are. No, in my video, I literally said he's not stylistically, he's not the hardest matchup because stylistically, I can look at people like Sean Brady and like Usman and be like, okay, well, they could cancel out his wrestling and force him to do something. Whereas like Ian Gary's just tricky because his length and his movement and how he runs. Like, that's what makes him tricky. And I think Islam said in that little thing that Helwani was talking about, Islam actually said he was tricky too. The word tricky is very specific, and I don't use that word often, but there's a reason I use it in that video because he's a tricky fighter to fight against.
The truth is, I have this feeling in my heart that they know I'm the trickiest opponent for him.
They know.
That's why he's calling out Patches. That's why he's calling out Morales. That's why the champion of the world, one of the most dominant athletes we've ever seen, called out Conor Usman to defend his world title fight against. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. He knows I'm long, I'm tall, I'm fast, I'm rangy. I understand distance management and control.
Yeah, I knew he was going to say that. It's the distance management, man.
I'm fast, I'm rangy, I understand distance management and control. And if you want to flip that into a terrible wording, then you'll say what he said. But if you want to talk about it from an elite standpoint of view, I don't get hit. Very rarely. It's never clean, it's never connected. Do you know what I mean?
You got dropped by that Asian.
I'm always just out, and the people don't have that success. I'm tricky
true,
on
though.
the feet.
True.
I'm tricky on the ground. I'm hard to touch. I'm hard to control.
Gang, tricky on the ground, bro. I saw MVP nearly submit you in there. Like, come on, gang.
Hard to predict what I'm going to do. I'm hard to read. All of those are elite stand-up and grappling skills.
Okay. So
from my point of view, there is nobody in this division that is a trickier matchup for Islam Makhachev. I'm 6'3", I'm long, I'm tall, I'm beautiful. I know how to use my hands, my feet. I know how to stop the takedown. I stopped 15 of 17 takedowns from Shavkat and Bilal Muhammad. I know what I'm doing in this sport. 4 people in this sport since I made my UFC debut have double-digit wins. And me and Islam are 2 of the 4. This is the right fight. This is the fight that has to happen. And he can say anything he wants to say. He can make up any excuse he wants. He can say what he wants. Do what he wants to do. When that cage door closed on August 15th and I'm stood across from him, I'm going to go out there and do everything I possibly can to put him unconscious and get my hand raised. Because that belt is coming home to Double Nine.
Do you think he respects you as a threat? Do you think he respects?
Listen, he's a confident kid. I still want to hear him talk about. Okay, he's mentioned the length and stuff. I want him to, but I want him to talk about Islam and like what Islam does bad that he could exploit. I want to know more, gang. Give me more.
You as a fighter?
Yeah, of course Islam's gonna respect him as a fighter.
Do you think he respects you as a fighter?
Definitely. He has to.
If he won't, he will. If he doesn't right now, he will when I'm finished the fight with him. If he doesn't respect me.
Bro, he's so corny, but he's like, he's corny in a cool way, I guess. Like, in a cool way, I guess. I don't know what to say to that. Like, what do you guys want from me?
And he's in for the shock of his life on August 15th.
You've had plenty of time to visualize the fight.
Yeah.
What are you seeing now? What are you feeling?
Good question. Good question.
Ariel, I genuinely right now, it's by any means necessary. My hand gets raised by any means necessary. It could be first round knockout, it could be fifth round knockout, it could be submission, it could be a dog and dog back and forth war. As long as my hand gets raised, I've succeeded in achieving everything I want to achieve in the sport. And I do it against one of the best fighters we've generationally seen.
What about what he's saying about you telling training partners not to hit you? Is that
Yes,
accurate?
I was wondering that. I know people that like after trade a little bit, guys. Like there's people in the gym you could tell who are like, they're like, oh, don't go too hard. Like I could fucking take your head off, but chill on me, gang. Like relax, bro. And Ian Garry does give me those vibes. You're not gonna lie.
They try. Ariel, I don't know how many fights I've had in this one. Am I 17-1, 18-1? I don't know. I've had 25 plus fights in my life in MMA, and I'm this pretty. No cuts, no scars, no nothing. Not barely any cauliflower and nothing. There's a reason for that. My defense and my fight IQ is second to none in this game. The more fights I have, the more people are going to understand and respect it. And I think that's why he's saying all these things is he knows this is a tricky fight. And when he goes to bed and just before he's about to close his eyes, he goes, this is going to be tougher than I think. And he can say what he wants to the camera, but to himself, internally within his team, they don't have someone that emulates my style. They don't have someone with these eyes. These are what makes this fight different.
Are you taking...
Wait. He's confident, you know. He's confident, gang. I ain't gonna lie. Like, oh, fuck off, man. I'm not dealing with another upset, gang. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm a grown man. I can't be dealing with this shit. I ain't gonna lie. Blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna...
Any of that Conor Khabib energy into this? We just played a clip of him saying this is the AliExpress version of that Dagestan-Ireland feud. He's sort of laughing it off. Is there something here that you're trying to, right the wrong from what transpired in 2018?
What a terrible way for him to sell the fight. What a terrible way for
True, though. I'm not gonna lie. It's a pretty shitty way to sell it.
him to talk about himself. Yeah, I take pride in this fight. I take pride in the fact that I'm going to be able to go out there and get a massive win back for my country at the highest stage, at the highest possible point in my career, with all the marbles on the line, the UFC world title. This is the second time Ireland and Dagestan meet in that octagon for a world title. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that it's 1-1.
What a stretch for Irish combat sports, by the way. July 11th, Conor, you, August 15th, and then Katie at Croke Park, September 5th. Back to back to back.
Dude, you've got the three biggest fighting names in Irish history. You've got the future of Irish fight sports. You've got a man who changed MMA for the entire globe. And you've got the most successful fighter in Irish history, Katie Taylor. It's not a bad week for us. It's not a bad couple of runs for us.
Yeah.
We're going to go out there. We're going to get 3 big wins. I'm going to do everything we can to show the world the Fighting Irish are called the Fighting Irish for a reason. It's in our blood. It's in our DNA, and you can't stop us.
You think Conor wins?
Absolutely. It's not an easy fight. Max is very good at what he does. He's obviously been in there against the best guys in the world repeatedly over and over and over again.
True.
But whilst Conor's been inactive, the hunger will start to thrive in his mind and in his skull. And at 170 pounds, I think this fight's very, very interesting. I think it's very interesting. Conor's going to have the knockout power.
Yeah, I'm not doubting anyone in that fight, by the way. But I think objectively, Max is the right answer, but there's no right answer in predictions, especially nowadays. Puncher's chance is definitely real.
It feels almost like fantastical. It's so perfectly planned. I've always said I want to beat the best in the world. I have 6 wins over top 15 opponents. I tell you another thing. The welterweight division is better and more interesting with me as the champion.
Why?
And that's a fact.
Why?
Argue all you want. People can argue. It's a fact, in my opinion, that when I'm the champion of the world, the welterweight division is better off.
Why?
Firstly, Islam only fights once a year.
Here we go again.
So his next defense might be in July 2027. But the matchups, the stylistic matchups, they're very different. You have on the cards a potential rematch with Carlos Prates. That would be massive. You have on the cards there's potential. Arguably, the biggest fight you can make in the sport at a certain point is a potential rematch with me and Shavkat Rakhmonov whenever he's able and capable to come back. If he ever comes back, I told you, if. You have a potential matchup with me and Michael Morales, Gabriel Bonfim. You have Sean Brady's in the mix. You have Medic coming up. The welterweight division is.
I see what he's saying, unironically. I see what he's saying. Listen, after we retire and we beat you, maybe you hold our belt, like, who knows? Like, those matchups are all cool for Islam too, though. Like, Islam versus Prates is going to be great seeing Islam finish him and dispose of him. But I will say all those fights are more competitive with Ian Garry being champion. It gives like more of a but like that's the thing though. Like, if Islam loses this belt or like retires and the belt's up for grabs, it's going to be hot potato, because Ian Garry could probably beat a lot of those guys, but they could beat him too, and then they're just going to keep playing hot potato. Maybe Ian Garry loses to Morales loses to Prates loses to Garry again, Garry wins the belt again, you know what I'm saying? So I don't mind hot potatoing belts, but I haven't seen that much belts go hot potato that recently, except for actually the welterweight division belt been kind of playing hot potato, guys. After Leon took it from Usman, then Bilal took it from Leon, and then JDM took it from Bilal, and then Islam took it from JDM. So I guess the welterweight just don't like having a solidified champion. I don't hate this observation.
It's the greatest it's ever been, and it's the most stacked it's ever been. It's the best division in the sport right now. There's no arguments about that. From top to bottom, the best division. When I'm the champion of the world, there's going to be more activity. There's going to be more high-level fights. The fans, everybody. I'm promising you now, it's the best thing for the sport. Me going out there and beating Islam, it's going to be a hell of a roller coaster, my friend.
The training camp is a good one, and then we'll see you in Philadelphia. Thank you, Ian. All the best to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All the best, guys.
The great Ian Machado Garry.
Yeah. All right, listen, we'll recap a bit. We'll talk a little bit, address some things he say. Listen, Ian Garry's confident, man. Like, he's he believes in himself. That's good. I like Ian Garry confident. I think he's doing a bit much with the Islam ducking narrative, but whatever helps him sleep at night, whatever garners his attention and helps him focus on his craft. Yeah, this is an interesting fight, and I know this is a competitive fight, so I do like to get a gauge of like how fighters are speaking beforehand. I do think Ian Garry's saying all the right things to a sense. He seems pretty confident, man. Like, I like that, man. He's given, and he seems confident, but not like Ilia Topuria delusional confidence. It seems more like a confidence with immense respect. And I feel like Ian Garry always does a good job like beforehand when he's fighting good competition. Like, he felt the same way about Shavkat. Of course, he lost that fight, but he was like, listen, he's really good, but I trust me. Even with Prates, he's skilled, but I trust myself. Even Bilal seemed like, yeah, Bilal's great, but I'm telling you right now, I'm going to run through him. And he beat these guys. They're all competitive fights for the most part, except for the Prates. He nearly killed him. But yeah, he goes in there and fights on his shield, and I feel like he does well because he always respects the person in front of him. Islam does respect Ian too. Like, the whole he's a kind of a boring-ish fight, not the most entertaining fighter, kind of runs away. It's true, It's Islam's way of showing respect in a less respectful manner. That's how I'm taking it, honestly. But I'm excited for this fight. I know it's going to be tough. The more I got to do footage, still haven't watched footage. I'm going to push that off until the fight week starts to approach, because I don't want to get myself too anxious right now. There's fights to watch beforehand. But let me know your guys' thoughts on Ian Garry and his confidence. That's it from me, and God bless. 2, 3.